opening words are by Tracy Johnson. We light our chalice this morning, light of our creative spirits, light of our wise souls, light of our wondering and curious minds, light of love for this place, these people, and this faith. Illuminate our hearts and the spaces between them in this sacred time of unfolding. Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos en la tierra de los Kumeyaay. Al encender esta vela, reafirmamos nuestro compromiso de cultivar relaciones significativas con los habitantes de esta tierra y de trabajar juntos por la justicia y la equidad.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather on the land of the Kumeyaay. As we light this candle, we affirm our commitment to cultivate meaningful relationships with the people of this land and to work together for justice and equity.
Now we invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, Morning Has Come.
Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online. Our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world. I am Isabella Firth, also known as Bella. I use the pronouns she and her, and I am serving as worship associate this morning. If you're visiting us, I want to extend a special welcome. I invite you to fill out the visitor card in your order of service and return it to the welcome table. If you're joining us online, you can also fill out a visitor form at the link on the live stream page or in the YouTube service description. We would love to connect with you. If you've been coming here for a while and you are starting to feel like this is your spiritual home, consider becoming a member of this beloved community. If you would like to explore what it means to be a member, or if you have questions about the membership process, you are invited to meet with Jan Gallo, who is right there, here at the front of the meeting house after the service. Welcome to this space. Bring all of who you are. in all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you live, move, and experience your embodied self, you are welcome here. With all of the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Together, may we live into our shared values with love at the center. It is good to be together.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, followed by reciting the church aspiration.
Good morning, friends. I'd like to invite any children or youth who'd like to come up and join me for the Time for All Ages. And while we're waiting for them to come up and contemplating how we might awaken curiosity, I'm curious if you have signed up to come to All Church Camp yet, and if you haven't, why not? The information's out on the patio, along with some paper registrations. It's also online. There's some QR codes. And you might also be wondering, Tony, wherever did you get this handsome all-church camp t-shirt? Well, I got it. I'm calling this our all-church merch. And it's also, there's a QR code out there for both the t-shirt and the hoodie if you'd like to support camp. So hi, friends. You might guess, if you're reading the title of our book, that today we're thinking about curiosity. And so I picked a book that I think fits. It's called The Curious Why. There are days you are bored, you're finished, you're through, there's no more to explore, to see, think, or do. There's nothing to ponder, nothing to know. You've lost your spark. That's your get up and go. You've stared at the screen, you've stared at the wall, you've stared into space and gone nowhere at all. You don't want to run, your toys don't seem fun, you don't even want to go play with someone. So you'll sit inside, cranky and tired, feeling frustrated, so uninspired. And you're sure you'll never find anything new, you'll just lie around, that's just what you'll do. But wait. What's that? They're outside your door. It's a new friend that you've not met before. Someone who won't let the world pass you by. Now introducing The Curious Why. The curious why will help you to see that you're only bored if you choose to be. Because why knows there's much more to be found if you wonder and wander and look all around. A knowledge collector, a tell-me-more teacher, this curious why is a gotta-know creature. So if you spot something curious, then why starts asking how, what, where, and when. Like, how does this grow? And what makes this grow? And where in the world did the dinosaurs go? And when were the first T-Rex fossils found? And just how deep were they found in the ground? Have all these questions got your ears turning? Let's find the answers. It's time to get learning. Welcome to a place where why always looks. It's the library, and it's filled with books. Check out the covers, dive into the stacks, flip through the pages to find all the facts. Then voyage through time to a life before us. Whoa, over there, a brachiosaurus. And there's something else you may discover. Whys made you a natural history lover. Now you're crafting, drawing, and making cool things with feathers and scales, with claws, spikes, and wings. You've got a new interest. Boredom's been busted, because with the why, your outlook adjusted. And the curious why has a question for you. What are more things that you wish you knew? Do you want to know how crayons are made? How banjos are played? Or why rainbows fade? Do you like gazing at planets and stars? Team up with the why and journey to Mars. Perhaps there's a new food you'd like to make. You and why can bake an upside-down cake. How does a bee buzz? What makes a bee sting? You can ask why about everything. With all these questions and answers, you'll find that the curious why has opened your mind. And if your friends need their sparks ignited, then you and the why can get them excited, because you've got all this knowledge to share. You're a T-Rex expert extraordinaire. And when you keep asking, searching, finding, walking paths unknown and winding, digging deeper and stargazing, you'll see all that is amazing. Now there's no limit to how far you'll go, how much you'll learn, or how much you'll know. And you'll never be bored, unless you try, when you open the door to the curious why. The end. So, thanks. Friends, I know some of you are curious because I get to hear all your great questions when we go off to our groups together, which we're about to do. And I hope you continue that curiosity, not just now, but throughout your life. And I hope you all continue that curiosity too. So, friends up here, can we stand up and we're going to lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now, friends, and any other children or youth who'd like to meet me and their other leaders out on the patio, we'll head to our groups.
Lay ministers are available after the service to offer a listening presence. If you have a joy or sorrow that you'd like to share this morning, our lay minister is Mary Ann Harper. You'll find her with the golden scarf. Also today, if you would like to see some of the many gems of this campus, there's a tour happening right after service, and you can meet Marge Wergel right here after the service has ended. Dining for Dollars bidding starts today. So you don't want to miss all those fabulous events and opportunities to be in community and get to know other folks. All of our bidding now happens online, so you can go to our website, firstuusandiego.org, and look for Dining for Dollars under the Giving tab. If you need help today, you can also go to Bard Hall. There'll be some bidding experts there who will actually have devices and can help you do your bidding right there. We hope that you will enjoy this community activity and help us to raise funds that support the church. And finally, wanted to let you know that there is a new Wisdom Circle forming on the 4th Thursdays of the month. It'll be at 7 p.m. on the Hillcrest campus, facilitated by Reverend Justine, and it's starting this month in May, on May 28th. So if that's something you want to learn more about, or you'd like to join a Wisdom Circle, you can contact Reverend Justine by email or by calling the church office.
One of the ways we live our values is by sharing our offering with local organizations that work for justice. Our generosity offering this month is being shared with Grid Alternatives San Diego. All of Grid Alternatives programs point to the same triple bottom line: people, planet, and employment. They work in communities across San Diego to make solar power and solar jobs accessible to those that need them most. You can support this important work through cash or check in the boxes at the back of the meeting house, or you can text 73256 with text to donate, or scan the QR code that's on the screen. Thank you so much for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received.
We pause at this time in our service to honor the life and memory of Carol Ann Stultz. Carol's family describe her as a determined and independent woman. She was a mother and then a middle school teacher. She eventually got her master's and became a computer programmer working for NASA and defense contractors here in San Diego. She loved this community, and her granddaughter shared that attending each week made her days brighter. On April 14th, she died surrounded by the love of her family and the support of hospice. We're sending our care to all those who are grieving. And so we light this candle in Carol's honor and memory. And to mark the weightiness of her loss, we extinguish the flame of our chalice, the symbol of our gathered community, because our company has been diminished by her loss. Yet the light of this community continues, and Carol's spirit lives on, and the many among us who love her and will remember her. And so from her candle, we relight our chalice. This community of memory and hope shines on, and Carol lives among us in the heart's long memory. In mystery we are born, in mystery we live, and in mystery we die.
We'll remain seated for our meditation hymn, Open My Heart.
Mother by Ted Kuser. Mid-April already, and the wild plums bloom at the roadside, a lacy white against the exuberant, jubilant green of new grass, and the dusty, fading black of burned-out ditches. No leaves, not yet, only the delicate star-petaled blossoms, sweet with their timeless perfume. You have been gone a month today and have missed 3 rains and 1 night-long watch for tornadoes. I sat in the cellar from 6 to 8 while fat spring clouds went somersaulting, rumbling east. Then it poured, a storm that walked on legs of lightning, dragging its shaggy belly over the fields. The meadowlarks are back, and the finches are turning from green to gold. Those same two geese have come to the pond again this year, honking in the trees and splashing down. They never nest, but they stay a week or two and then leave. The peonies are up, the red sprouts burning in a circle like birthday candles. For this is the month of my birth, as you know, the best month to be born in, thanks to you. Everything ready to burst with living. There will be no more new flannel nightshirts sewn on your old black Singer. No birthday card addressed in a shaky but business-like hand. You asked me if I would be sad when it happened, and I am sad. But the iris I moved from your house now hold in the dusty, dry fists of their roots, green knives and forks, as if waiting for dinner, as if spring were a feast. I thank you for that. Were it not for the way you taught me to look at the world, to see the life at play in everything, I would have been lonely forever.
I have all
I feel like I just want to sit in the sacredness of that song. Will you just sit with me for a few moments in some silence? Thank you. Earlier this week, as the last bits of light were fading into darkness, our family headed to Balboa Park, to the patio near the Science Center and the Natural History Museum. There were giant telescopes set up, and we waited patiently for our chance to catch a glimpse of something we can't usually see with our eyes. It was a cool, clear night, and Lucas and I looked into the first telescope, and we could see very, very clearly the planet Jupiter, with its 2 stripes, its cloud belts, and 2 moons nearby. Then we went over to explore a stellarium, a 30-inch cube filled with all these different colored lights, representing the closest stars within 50 light years of the sun. You could press a button, and Lucas wanted to press all the buttons, and when you did, a star would light up. And then a member of the Astronomy Association could tell you the name of the star, how far away it was it a single star, or a binary star, or a trinary star? It was this enchanting 3-dimensional model of our star neighborhood. Now, we were just about to leave the park and head home when we saw one less telescope, and it was faced in a completely different direction. Josh, my husband, looked down into the eyepiece, and when he pulled away, I could just see this awe emanating from him. And he said, "You have to see this." And so I went over and I looked in, and I was amazed to see the Whirlpool Galaxy with its massive spiraling arms of gas and dust and stars, and it was merging with a smaller galaxy, creating a star nursery. An estimated 31 million light years away. A close galaxy, they tell me. And I can see it. And it has 100 billion stars in it. It was incredible. And honestly, humbling. To glimpse for a moment how vast this experience of life is. To realize how little we know or can even perceive in our day-to-day lives. To encounter intimately the mystery of our existence, even if just for a few moments. Now, that experience awakened our curiosity. We had all sorts of questions, and it sparked this desire to know more, to know who we are and what we belong to and what we're part of. When was the last time your curiosity was awakened? What did it feel like for you? In our story this morning, a young child is plagued by boredom. Life feels dull and uninterested. They're tired of looking at the screen, staring at the wall, playing with the same old toys. They feel restless and frustrated and cranky, like they've lost their spark. Have you ever felt that way? Then the curious why knocks on the door and invites them out to go wander and to wonder and to look around at everything. They spend time in nature, meet new people, read books, look through telescopes, and ask all the questions. This wondering and wandering ignites their creativity, and they begin crafting and drawing and making new things. And this child feels a renewed sense of excitement about being alive. Is there something calling to you? Something that you're intrigued about, that you want to know just a little bit more? Now, the story tells us that when we open the door to the curious why, we'll never be bored again. But is it truly that simple? Curiosity feels like an innate part of our childhood. As someone with a small child, my son Lucas asks why an infinite number of times a day. But I do find that it can be hard to stay connected to our curiosity as we age, as we take on the stresses and responsibility of adulthood. Juggling jobs, raising children and grandchildren, navigating financial challenges, adjusting to the changing physical abilities of our bodies, all while witnessing and enduring this relentless injustice and oppression impacting our communities and our nations. Who has time for curiosity? There are moments, I will admit, when I am just too overwhelmed, too tired, too heartbroken to be curious about anything. If you find yourself there today, my invitation to you is to rest. Not to go out and explore and do the next thing and feel like you need to do something else, but just to rest for a bit. To do less. To draw in maybe for a time, to hibernate. To hold those feelings of overwhelm and exhaustion and that lack of curiosity with some loving compassion. Maybe even invite someone else to sit with you and be with you in it. And then, when there's maybe a little bit more space, a little bit more energy, notice what's calling to you. It doesn't have to be something grand like the whirlpool galaxy. It could be something tiny or small. One of my best teachers about curiosity is Lucas. And one of Lucas's favorite things to do is when he's walking down the street is to look for hidden treasures. Now, some of these things that he considers treasures, I would consider trash. I find them stuffed in the pockets of his shirts. But what I love is that he looks down and he'll see a button or a little piece of silver, and he'll pick it up with this kind of reverence and awe, and I'll be like, look at what I found. Isn't it amazing? I wonder what I could make with it. And then he'll go home, and with all his collected treasures and his recycled things, he makes a robot or a cat or something I can't even imagine. So know that even those tiny little things can be a doorway into curiosity. Maybe you start with a wander through the neighborhood or a gaze out the window just to see what might be springing forth. In our reading this morning, Ted Kooser describes his life in the month after his mother's death. Even though she's died, the flowers are starting to bloom. There are 3 rainstorms, a night-long tornado watch, lightning coming across the fields with its shaggy legs. There's the arrival of the meadowlarks and the geese that come each year. The peonies coming up like a circle of birthday candles. And then he says, there will be no more new flannel nightshirts sewn on your old black Singer. No birthday card addressed in a shaky but business-like hand. You asked me if I would be sad when it happened, and I am sad. A poem filled with grief and gratitude, longing and beauty, death and aliveness, all woven together in one experience. Isn't this what life is like? Beautiful and heartbreaking, loving and devastating. He ends the poem. Were it not for the way you taught me to look at the world, to see the life at play in everything, I would have been lonely forever. It was this way of seeing, this gaze of wonder, that was the lasting gift from his mother. This gentle curiosity that brought some solace, even in the midst of grief. The rest of my sermon is not here. Well, I will tell you what I planned, I think. Mysteries. So one of the greatest teachers for curiosity for me was when I found Zen Buddhist practice. Zen Buddhist practice is about the practice of just sitting quietly and noticing. Noticing what happens in our bodies, noticing what happens in our mind, not trying to change it, but just to be with it. And that may not sound like curiosity to you. It's okay. Thank you. May not sound like curiosity to you, but to me, it was at the essence of that practice, was to be curious about what was happening inside of me. Now, we would sit meditation in the mornings and the evenings when I lived there, but every Wednesday we did something special. And what we did was we sat in something called a council. And so you would sit meditation before, and then everyone would gather around in a circle. And when you sat in the circle, we would do something called, what we called talking meditation. Here were the guidelines. Speak from the heart. Speak from your lived experience. Try not to get caught in ideas, but in what you are feeling and what you know in this moment. Listen from the heart. Try to listen with your whole presence. Notice if you are planning your to-do list, thinking about all the things that you have to do, if you are stuck in judgment of the person and what they're sharing, and keep coming back to just listening. Spontaneity. Don't plan what you're going to say. Say what needs to be said in the moment, and trust that there's an inner knowing that knows what to share. No crosstalk. No responding to what someone else said. No interrupting. Just listening. And then confidentiality, to hold that circle, to make it sacred. It may sound really simple, but what I loved about this weekly practice was that it made us more and more human to each other. We got to know each other in these really deep and subtle ways. And it was really powerful. Now, we had an experience about a week ago, last Saturday, where we had a really big council-type experience. 55 people in Bard Hall. And then in this big circle, we formed a little circle. And people would come into the middle of the circle based on the years that they entered the church. And they would tell the stories about what the church was like when they first got there. Now, I don't know about for you, but for me, even though it was a really big circle, it felt really intimate. What I loved was getting to hear a story that no one single person could tell. right? It was this weaving together of these details, this texture and this nuance. And it created a shared story. And afterwards, 4 hours of listening. So this was a long time, right? Like 4 hours of listening. And I did not feel drained. I left and I felt enlivened. And I felt curious. And I felt enriched. And I thought, we need more of this. We need more of this in our communities, and we need more of this in our country. More curiosity, more deep listening, more open-hearted questioning. Because we live in a time right now where we are being told narratives that are meant to sow falsehood. They're meant to divide us and deceive us, to stoke fear and hatred. And that is not the country that we want to belong to. And so I just felt this sense of what we need is more humility. We need more listening. We need to get to know each other in a deep and intimate way. We need to listen to each other's stories. We need to know that we only have one piece of the truth. We don't have the whole thing, none of us do. We need more surrender of our self-righteousness. And we need a country that tells stories and a people that believe that we deserve to be full of life and aliveness and inspiration and curiosity. I think we need curiosity now more than ever. So may we open the door wide to the curious why. May we notice what's calling to us, what is inviting us, intriguing us to learn more. May we move through our lives with open hearts and open minds. And may we keep asking questions and search together for the answers. Blessed be, and may it be so.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, Go Lifted Up.
May we go forth from this day, surrounded by the love of community, invited into an experience of encountering the mystery that is our life, answering the call to curiosity and aliveness and wonder. Blessed be, and go in joy.
Las manos de mi madre parecen pájaros en el aire. Historias de cocina entre sus alas, heridas de hambre. Las manos de mi madre saben qué ocurre por las mañanas, cuando amasan la vida, horno de barro, pan de esperanza. Las manos de mi madre llegan al patio desde temprano. Todo se vuelve fiesta cuando ellas vuelan junto a otros pájaros, junto a los pájaros que aman la vida y la construyen con el trabajo. Arde la leña, harina y barro, lo cotidiano se vuelve mágico, se vuelve mágico. Las manos de mi madre me representan un cielo abierto, un recuerdo añorado, trapos calientes en los inviernos. Ellas se brindan cálidas, nobles, sinceras, limpias de todo. ¿Cómo serán las manos del que las mueve gracias al odio? Las manos de mi madre llegan al patio desde temprano. Todo se vuelve fiesta cuando ellas vuelan junto a otros pájaros, junto a los pájaros que aman la vida y la construyen con el trabajo. Arde la leña, harina y barro, lo cotidiano se vuelve mágico, se vuelve